What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I should have brought out my big camera for this, but I don't have the energy. So you guys are sitting on my camera tripod at the moment. So today we're gonna do a book haul. It's not exactly a spring book haul. All these books are not necessarily springtime books, but it's spring and I feel like doing a book haul. So here we go. Now keep in mind that the books I'm going to show you, that's not all of my books. I do have more books. Some of them are still in my storage unit in Florida. Yeah, it's been 2 years since I moved back to Pennsylvania and my stuff is still in storage. If you watch one of my earlier videos from when I started my channel, you get a sense of how many books I have, because I did do a 2019 to be read book haul. Only I didn't know it was called a to be read book haul back in 2019, but I did one of those, so I will link it down below if you're interested in that. Yeah, I'll show you what I have here right now. I should mention that at the moment I am reading a book called Dial A for Auntie. It's downstairs and I'm not about to pause this video to go get it, but so far I like it. Yeah, without further ado, let's get right into this book haul. So first we're starting with The Dark Half by Stephen King. And I didn't buy this book. My brother was packing stuff the other day, or it's more like last year, and he found this in his things and was gonna toss it out, and I said, no, I'll take it. I've never really read a Stephen King book. Yeah, I know, I've watched a lot of his movies. I've watched It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, the remake of It. I've watched Pet Sematary, I watched The Shining, and the sequel to The Shining, I forget what it's called, which I'm actually gonna do a review on. But I've never read any one of his books. So this is what the cover looks like. I've already shown you guys. And in the jacket, ooh, it is very long. I'm not going to read all of this to you guys. This is very long. But I'm going to assume because it's Stephen King, it is scary. So that's that. Then I have this very cute book that my brother got me. I know, bedtime stories. You're never too old for a bedtime storybook from Disney. I thought it was so cute. My brother had bought it for one of my little cousins. I think she's about to be 10. And I really loved the illustrations. I'll probably do a B-roll of like the illustrations. And so I really loved it so much. And then the next day he went to Walmart and then picked one up for me because he saw that I really liked it. Alright, so next book that I have in my collection is a book I purchased. I feel like I got this back in 2018 or 19. I've had this book for quite a while and I started to read it in 2021 before I quit my job at Disney and just like I just couldn't. I think I stopped reading in chapter 6 because I have this page marker here and I just couldn't. I just wasn't feeling it. Like I mentioned in all of my other videos, 2021 was when a lot of things happened. Like I quit my job, I moved out of my apartment, I moved back home, got a new job, everything. So yeah, there was no time for me to read. But yeah, I'll have to get to this at some point. For this one, I'm going to read what it says because it's very short. When you read this book, you will make many assumptions. You will assume you are reading about a jealous ex-wife. You will assume she is obsessed with her replacement, a beautiful younger woman who is about to marry the man they both love. You will assume you know the anatomy of this tangled love triangle. Assume nothing. Twisted and deliciously chilling, the wife between us deftly explores the hidden complexities of marriage and the dangerous truths we ignore in the name of love. Read between the lies. Wow. Yeah, so I'll get to it at some point. Right now, I'm not in the mood for any mysteries. It's springtime. That's why I'm reading Dial A for Auntie. It seems very funny. So up next, I have this one, which I bought in 2022 along with Verity. I have finished reading Verity. I don't know where I put it. Whenever I finish reading a book, I put it away. But I finished reading Verity last year, in the middle of last year, and I was supposed to have a review on it. The script is written already. I just need to find time to film it. But stay tuned for a review on Verity. Spoiler alert, I did not like it. I did not like it, but like you will just have to find out why. If you already read Colleen Hoover books, you already probably know why. I know a lot of people online, Book Talk loves her, but it just took reading that one book from her for me to be like, I'm not gonna read any more of her books. But this one I would love to read at some point. So this is also a recommendation from Book Talk, which I'm not on TikTok anymore, but decided why not give it a shot. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And in case you haven't heard of it, let me read the back of it for you. Reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded by Monique herself. Determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career, Monique listens in fascination. From making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s to leaving show business in the 1980s, and of course the Seven Husbands along the way, Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. Wow. Okay. Written with Reed's signature talent for creating complex, likable characters, this is a mesmerizing journey through the splendor of old Hollywood into the sobering realities of the present day as two women struggle with what it means and what it costs to face the truth. So this is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So can't wait to delve into that at some point. It just seems like a very fall read for me because it seems mysterious. Also, what I'm doing right now is putting the book back in the in my book organizer thingy so I can grab the next one. Now this next one, again, I had started reading it. It's called Balance. I had started reading it and I stopped. Again, this was last year. So basically, this is a relationship between a 16-year-old gymnast and her 32-year-old coach. So caution if you're gonna read this. I think where I stopped reading was when the 16-year-old finally met her coach and just was thinking how hot he was. That's where it ends, and you can tell it's gonna be spicy just from the cover. It's called Balance. I think there's like 3 or 5 books in this series. I forget. This is yet again another book I picked up last year and I just couldn't get through it. I struggled last year to read. So at the beginning of last year, I was wrapping up reading The Bennett Women. Really liked it. It was basically a modern version of Pride and Prejudice, if you will. So I quite liked it. And then after I finished reading that, I picked up Verity. And then after Verity, I picked this up, but only got through like maybe the first 20 pages or so before I wait, hang on. I even have a doggy ear, the page where I stopped. Yeah, first 20 pages, I was right. And it's not that it's boring, I struggled last year to read. Then I have My Heart is a Chainsaw, which I had picked up to read after I couldn't get through Dating Dr. Deal. And this one is supposed to be a scary one by Stephen Graham Jones. The camera focused on it. And let me just read the jacket for you. You won't find a more hardcore 80s slasher film fan than high school senior Jade Daniels. And you won't find a place less supportive of girls who wear torn t-shirts and too much eyeliner than Proof Rock, nestled 8,000 feet up a mountain in Idaho alongside Indian Lake, home to both Camp Blood, site of the massacre 50 years ago, and as of this summer, Terra Nova, a second home celebrity, Camelot, being carved out of a national forest. That's not the only thing that's getting carved up, though. This, Jade knows, is the start of a slasher. But what kind? Who is wearing the mask? Jade's got an encyclopedic recall of every horror movie on the shelf, but will that help her survive? Can she get a final girl trained enough to stop all of this from happening? Does she even want to? Isn't a slasher exactly what her hometown deserves? This new novel by the New York Times bestselling author of The Only Good Indians, Stephen Graham Jones, called one of our most talented living writers, wow, that's a lot to live up to, by Tommy Orange, explores the changing landscape of the West through his distinct voice of sharp humor and prophetic violence. Go up the mountain to Proof Rock. See if you've got what it takes. See if your heart too might be a chainsaw. All right. And then finally, I have this book called White is for Witching by Helen Oyeyemi. Yeah, she sounds Nigerian to me. There's something strange about the Silver family's house in the closed-off town of Dover, England. Grand and cavernous with hidden passages and buried secrets, it's been home to 4 generations of Silver women. Anna, Jennifer, Lily, and now Miranda, who has lived in the house with her twin brother Elliot ever since their father converted it to a bed and breakfast. The Silver women have always had a strong connection, a pull over one another that reaches across time and space. And when Lily, Miranda's mother, passes away suddenly while on a trip abroad, Miranda begins suffering strange ailments. An eating disorder starves her. She begins hearing voices. When she brings a friend home, Dover's hostility toward outsiders physically manifests within the 4 walls of the Silver house, and lives of everyone inside are irrevocably changed. At once, an unforgotten mystery and a meditation on race, nationality, and family legacies, White is for Witching is a boldly original, terrifying, and elegant novel by a prodigious talent. So yeah, that's all I have for right now, and let me know what you guys are reading this spring, if you're reading anything, and drop some more suggestions below. I've been looking to buy at least 2 more books, which I really shouldn't be buying books at this point. I need to finish reading this, but maybe something interesting will get me back into reading enough to like pick up these books, if that makes any sense, because there's some books that are interesting, like I said, but like not quite able to get into them quite yet, but something else might be an easier read. So what I mean by that is I read Harry Potter and Twilight, and that's what got me reading. And it's really true what they say about Jo Rowling, because she is credited for getting a lot of people to read. And like literally after I finished Harry Potter, I didn't know what else I was going to read because it was that good. And I did start reading Harry Potter as an adult. So I grew up when it was like trending and hot, but I didn't start reading the books until 2011, 2012. I watched all the movies. I still felt there were holes that needed to be filled, so I figured I'll just read the books and the holes will be filled. So I just went and bought all the books, and yeah, I would stay up late till 4 a.m. reading those books. So yeah, I just want to find that one book aside from the one I'm currently reading, find another 1 or 2 books that'll get me back into like reading frequently, because as of right now it's a struggle. I've started reading that book, but I haven't picked it up in like a week or 2. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.
It was always on fire, our house, our dreams. We were dancing on a wire, reckless.